Alright, so today I'm testing out 3 different units to see if you can use basically exclusively those units in a match of the Santa's Workshop map and win it in hard mode. So I'm testing out the upgraded Strider toilet, the King Drillman, and the Vampire. So I'm going to start off with the upgraded Strider toilet, and basically taking a looking at him, he does 130,000 damage per second. He costs to fully upgrade him 32,500 coins in the game. One of the things why it's important to know that is when you're doing the Santa's Workshop mode, because you can get your units frozen, I often have to delete them and then replace them immediately, so knowing what their costs are is helpful. As far as farming units, I'm going to be using the Santa TTD Man and the Titan Printer Man. You don't have to go in with 2 farming units, but in general I suggest that you do, and you make one of those farming units a round-based one like the Santa TD Man, which pays you coins every round, and the Titan Printing Man, which in this case pays every 30 seconds. There are other farming units that you can do. I'm also bringing in the Skeleton Cameraman. So in this challenge that I'm doing where I'm testing the Drillman, the upgraded Strider toilet, and the Vampire, because the Vampire and the Strider toilet actually cost 600 to start, I actually just brought in the Skeleton just to get a unit placed down, and then once I get going I'll just delete him. So, I mean, so far it's going okay with the upgraded Strider toilet. I'm hopeful that he can actually pretty much complete it by myself. My concern with him is that he tends to get kind of stunned early. I've started off trying to get a bunch of Santa TD men down. It looks like I'm going to be in trouble right here because I could be eliminated really early on in this one. I will give it a retry if I get eliminated this quickly, and yes, I did. So I only lasted 1:31 in my first try with this. So I'm going to give another chance to the Strided toilet because I know I can get way farther than just completing 4 rounds. I focus a little bit too much on my farming units there. So we'll give him a try again and see what's going to happen. But I should easily be able to get pretty far, but I am a little bit disappointed I didn't last very long because he got frozen up front and then I had to quickly put one down in the back part of the map. Hopefully this loads in really quickly for a second game. I will kind of, once the game gets going so this doesn't end up like an hour-long video, I'll kind of skip over in editing. So still loading this game. But yeah, like I said, I would definitely, and you can also use this in the Winter Spotlight 2024, so Roblox is doing that challenge, and you can kind of use that to kind of help you get through it. So wow, this is a long time kind of loading here. Alright, now I'm back into it. Alright, so I'm going to, again, I'm using this on hard mode each time, and my focus here is just using 1 unit. So now I'm loaded back into the game. And again, I'm going to start off by putting that Skeleton Cameraman down just because it does cost 700 to get the Strider toilet down first, and I don't want to end up dying because I'm waiting to get enough coins to get him down. So I'll be starting off with putting the Santas down, and then once I get my Santas down, I'm going to put the Titan Printer Man. And again, in general, my strategy with farming is that I like to have 2 different units, one of them paid by round, and one of them that pays like by time based. In other words, a Titan Printer Man pays every 30 seconds. There are plenty of other different units that you can use if you don't have those 2 units. The large Printer Man ends up paying about 2,000 per minute, and the dark Printer Man pays 1,800 per minute. You can get both of those pretty cheap in the marketplace. Obviously, the Titan Printer Man tends to go around 10,000 gems if you're trying to find him, and usually I can find Santa for about 600. So I've got my Skeleton down, and I will delete him once I get enough money to start putting down my upgraded Strider toilet. Alright, so focus a little bit more on farming. I skipped ahead right here, so you can see right now, and this is one of the problems I had with him, he gets frozen like a lot. He also gets stunned a lot. So I'm on round 24, and hopefully I can get a little bit farther than this, but it's been really challenging. So I skipped through some video right there, some rounds. But the last couple rounds leading into 25, it was getting very close at the end, with me almost going out and dying. He does cost, like I said, altogether it's 3,200 500 basically coins in game to kind of upgrade him. That's a lot to replace. So you can see right there's a bunch of Z's where my characters have been stunned. Those are also frozen at the same time, so it doesn't necessarily really matter. But they are getting by me pretty quickly at round 25, so I am thinking that the upgraded Strider toilet by himself isn't necessarily a great unit to defeat the Santa's Workshop on hard mode. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it because they are getting by me. And also, because I've been deleting some toilets, again, you can see right now every single one of my things is either frozen or stunned. And again, you can see how fast they're getting stunned. They go stun, then unstun, then back and forth between stunned and unstunned. The problem with that is I only have 2 toilets right now attacking. Now it's back up to 4 of them, but they are just constantly being stunned. So I don't think this is a very good unit to try to use in the Santa mode. And again, I'm now out of it at 24 waves. I'm a little bit disappointed in the upgraded Strider toilet, but I think his problem is he's really expensive and that he costs $32,500 to fully upgrade from the first level to the highest level. And he is just constantly getting stunned. So not only do you have to deal with him being frozen all the time, you also have to deal with him being stunned all the time. And I really, because of his expense, I really couldn't raise enough to constantly replace him. And with the being stunned, I just got eliminated. So I'm going to try the Vampire Toilet next. Vampire Toilet tends to be much more expensive if you're trying to buy him in the marketplace. He usually goes for several thousand diamonds. That's because people like using him in rank play, but I'm pretty confident that the Vampire will actually get me through this. So using the Vampire, I also am going to go in the game with the Skeleton Cameraman. And again, I'm only going to use the Skeleton Cameraman for just a couple rounds, just so I can get enough to start placing down some more Vampires. I'm pretty confident this is going to go really well with the Vampire Cameraman. One of the things that's great about the Vampire Cameraman is one of his features is that he will basically turn an attacking toilet into a friendly unit that then turns around and goes back and attacks. He was actually really effective in ranked play, but they ended up putting a cap on him when they nerfed the game, so he could only stun. He could only basically turn an attacking toilet up to a certain amount. But at this level, because we're only getting up to level 50, I don't think that will be an issue. So right now you can see my general placement. I've skipped ahead. I've got all of them out there. He almost never gets stunned. I mean, occasionally he gets stunned, but it's actually very rare. And you can see I've only got 1 stunned right now. I'm actually very lucky that I only have a couple of them frozen. So again, so far he's doing really well. It's round 49. I'm very confident that he is easily going to get to round 50. The other thing I will say about him is I really did not have to replace a lot of units. Like I said, I bring in 2 farming units because your attacking units are getting frozen by the game. You have to replace them. You basically delete them. So right now a whole bunch of them were frozen. And what I would do is just click on one of those frozen units, delete it, and then just immediately replace it. His cost to totally replace a fully upgraded unit is only 22,100 coins in the match that you're playing. So that's reasonably not very expensive to go from a level 1 all the way up to max level. And you can see that 2 toilets actually turned around and were attacking, because again, that is one of the features that the Vampire does, is his basic ability to basically turn a toilet that's against you into on your side, which then gives you more hit points. So we're now at level 50. I'm 100% confident that I'm easily going to clear level 50. So clearly the Vampire Cameraman is a unit that if you have it, and again, this was a free unit if you completed the Halloween event. But like I said, he is kind of expensive if you buy him for gems right now in the marketplace, in the trading plaza. But I mean, he is clearly going to clear wave 50. And again, very few times in this match have I had to actually delete a frozen Vampire and then immediately replace it. So yeah, he definitely did it. So the Vampire Cameraman is definitely a unit that if that's the only unit you have, you can enter a game. And that's actually helpful for the Winter Spotlight. So in the Roblox Winter Spotlight 2024, as well as I believe inside the Santa's Workshop challenge, if you go inside that area, it's one of the challenges is to complete this Santa's Workshop by only using 2 units. So if you took 1 farming unit and the Vampire, you should be able to pretty much easily complete it. So next I'm going to go with the The King Drillman is my unit I'm taking in. So again, the King Drillman, I'm also kind of confident that I can actually win with the King Drillman. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the King Drillman. Like I said, he's a pretty solid unit. One of the things I like about him is that, one, he does stun, so he can actually stun a unit. And when he does stun a unit, he will turn yellow. And again, the stun time is 10 seconds that unit will be frozen, and you can see he's frozen because he's stunned, because he's frozen, as well as he's typically turned like a yellow or golden color. The other thing that he does is he does a damage boost. So he has a max 25% damage boost, which also impacts other Drillmen that you have out there. So the different Drillmen will actually give damage boost to other ones, and if you place them reasonably close together. So I've skipped ahead to round 44. I've had a lot of issues in this match with him constantly being either stunned or frozen. The frozen part is part of the game, and that has really nothing to do with the King Drillman. But he is constantly, you can see the Z's above their head, he is constantly being stunned. And I am having a lot of time with it because, again, most of my units right now are stunned or frozen, one or the other. So right now I only actually have a third attacking unit weighing the distance that's actually attacking, and they're going back and forth between constantly being stunned. So I don't know if I'm going to get past wave 44 on this, only because, I mean, he's normally a great unit. And oh, the other thing I forgot to mention was I pretty much started all these challenges or tests today by putting out my skeleton cameraman, but I didn't use the skeleton cameraman because the Drillman only costs 200 to go out. So even though it looks like I could be in trouble with the King Drillman right now and not make it to round 50 and be able to win the Santa's Workshop map, I do think he's a decent unit to load in with a game on this map because his size is very small. He doesn't take up a lot of placement space. And like I said, he gives you a damage boost to all of your other units that you bring in. So I am definitely in trouble right here. I don't think I'm going to get past unit around 45 in this. So I'm thinking the King Drillman is not. I mean, maybe if I got a little bit more lucky. But again, he has been constantly stunned. And it looks like that's going to be it for me right now. So yeah, so I lost that match. I'm a little bit surprised. I thought the King Drillman would do a lot better. But I think he really struggled with just constantly basically being stunned. So I officially had 44 waves beaten with him. I was unable in the hard mode to get to level 50. And I do think that's primarily because of him just being constantly stunned. But the good thing about him was I didn't have to bring in that skeleton unit as a starter because he's only 200 to place. The other two units that I started, the upgraded Strider toy that was 700 to start off, so I had to bring another unit in. So overall, my opinions are I'm going to give the green check mark to the Vampire Cameraman. Definitely, if you just go in with a Vampire and even just one good farming unit, you should be able to get through level 50 and complete the Santa's Workshop map without an issue. The upgraded Strider toilet, I'm actually disappointed. I just could not get even close to coming through it. The King Drillman actually got me up to round 44, so it was close. Again, the issue with him was he was constantly being stunned, whereas the Vampire almost never got stunned. The upgraded Strider toilet also got stunned a lot. It was very expensive to go from level 1 to upgrade to the max level. So hopefully this was helpful to you if you're trying to complete the Santa's Workshop map. Clearly, if you can get your hands on a Vampire Cameraman, you will be able to complete this level without too much difficulty.